and welcome to this episode of Crate Conversations. I'm very excited to be here today with Suzy Raabe. She is the person who I got to meet at our Brick Hero Awards, and she runs the Food Angels, correct?
Yes.
And I couldn't wait to learn about your group and what you all do once I saw you at our Brick Hero Awards. First of all, I love the t-shirts. They have fantastic t-shirts, which initially drew me to you. But then when I heard the story about some of the things that you do, I knew I had to have you on for a great conversation. So welcome and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I guess we're going to start with what exactly does your organization do? What do you guys do?
Every other Sunday, my group, which consists of about 25 people, we get together and we go to Lakewood Town Square, where we serve a hot meal along with what we call takeaway food, meaning sandwiches, fruit, chips, water, pastries, and clothes. And we distribute these to the homeless and in need that are in Lakewood, primarily.
Wonderful. Yeah, and so even though those people are in Lakewood, it doesn't mean they're necessarily of Lakewood. They could be from really anywhere. They could be from Brick Township or Jackson or anywhere in the area, essentially.
If they're able to get to Town Square, we're going to serve them.
Excellent. And about how many people do you serve each time that you go?
I would say upwards of 50, probably about 80 people.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's a large amount,
How did you get started, get interested in doing this? What made you want to do this?
Helping the homeless has always been a cause of mine and something that I've wanted to be involved in. And I used to travel past Tent City in Lakewood on a regular basis. And I always wanted to go in and help. But my friends discouraged me, telling me that it was an unsafe place and that I shouldn't go in there. And foolishly, I listened to them. And had I only realized this wasn't the case, but needless to say, I listened. So several years later, I had the good fortune of meeting Reverend Steve and started donating clothes to his camp in Howell. And on one occasion, I was able to assist him in clothes distribution in Lakewood. And while I was there, a young child came up to me and asked me if I had any food, and I unfortunately did not. And it broke my heart. And I asked Steve if he would accept me to come back and bring food on another occasion. And he said, absolutely. He was thrilled to have me even suggest it. And so that's how the Food Angels started. And it was just a little seed. And this was probably at least 5 years ago. And from that, my organization has grown.
So that's great. You said you have about 25 people that help you put these meals together. And how does that work every couple of weeks? How do you guys figure that all out?
I have a sign-up sheet, and I request the ingredients needed to prepare the meal. I set a menu for every 2 weeks. It's always a good home-cooked meal of substance based on either chicken or ham or ground beef or steak, whatever. And it's always fresh vegetables. Everything's fresh food. And I make this list of the items that I need, and I post it on my Facebook page. And the people who are very generous in the Lake Riviera area donate, and I receive the items on my porch, and it's like little angels just come and deliver this stuff, and then the meal is prepared.
That's wonderful. And you said you also collect clothing items and toiletries and things like that as well, correct?
And every now and then I'll have a special case where I'll say, oh, I met a gentleman and he's in need of size 36 pants. I'll go out the next morning and there'll be a pair of size 36 pants on my porch.
That's wonderful.
So I'm very, very lucky in that the people in this area have been extremely generous, very understanding, and they really go the extra mile. I even have people who have moved out of this area. There's one woman who lives in Florida and continues to donate to me.
Oh my goodness.
She used to be a resident of Lake Riviera, and she still donates to me.
That's a testament to the work that you're doing, for sure.
I mean, the people really are very, very generous. So I'm very lucky because this would not be possible if it wasn't for the people in the area.
And, it's very heartening to hear that because, you and I have talked, and we talk about, we do have homeless people living here in Ocean County. We do have homeless people living here in Brick Township. A lot of the homelessness that we're seeing or that you're seeing isn't necessarily through any fault of their own. There's circumstances put them in a place and they're not able to get out of it. It's kind of a vicious cycle once you're in that homeless.
And unfortunately, a lot of people are one paycheck away from being homeless.
Yeah.
And it's a very sad situation.
Yeah.
Because life is very expensive in New Jersey.
Yes.
And these are people who have part-time jobs or full-time jobs, and they're trying, but they just can't do it.
Yeah.
On a wage of $15 an hour, you cannot get a one-bedroom apartment.
Right.
It's just
And
not
if you have
possible.
kids or if
Right.
there's two of you, it makes it more difficult. So, what are some of the things that you've done as far as meals, so people have an idea of what are some of the meals maybe you've cooked for people?
Just yesterday, we had a ham and vegetable over noodle recipe that I found online. We do ground beef and pasta, so we'll have like an Italian flair and a side salad. We'll do barley soup. At Thanksgiving, we do a full Thanksgiving meal of turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and pies and so on. Anything I get donated, I will turn into a meal. So it's always a good, well-balanced, fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, good quality meat meal. And we have one gentleman, every time we serve him, he's a little challenged. Say, how'd you like your meal, Michael? It's delicious.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's wonderful. That's really good to hear.
It
And
is.
people, I'm sure they appreciate
They
seeing
do.
your face every couple of weeks too.
And I've become
and
friends
building
with
a
these people.
relationship.
They know
Exactly.
my name, I know their name.
Yeah.
And
Nothing scary about it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
All
these
good.
people come up to me and hug me, and you know, I reciprocate.
Yeah.
I've taken one woman out to lunch.
That's
This
nice.
one woman who was very challenged, but we went and sat in a restaurant together. You know, she told me, Suzy, you need to build a shelter. I said, yes, I would like to do that. She said, all you need is cement. That's all you need. Really?
Yeah.
That's all I need?
Yeah.
Okay.
That and a few more things.
But if you think that's
But,
all I need,
yeah.
okay. But and ideally, that is what I would love to do,
Right.
is have a shelter. But
Yeah. Where people can get themselves together and be safe.
oh, I have it
and-
all in my
yeah.
head. I have a
Yeah.
whole blueprint of what I want
Right.
it to be.
That's
We're
good to
complete
hear.
with a area for job placement and
Yeah, and that's a big piece of
everything.
it, right? Yeah. So, how can people help you? So I know you have your core group in Lake Riviera, but if there are people in the township who say, "I love what you're doing. I want to either donate monetarily to you, or I'd like to donate items that you can bring, or food items," how can people help you?
they
out?
can look me up online on Facebook. I have it under my own name, so it's Suzy Raabe,
Okay.
SUZYRAABE.
Okay.
In the Residents of Lake Riviera page in particular, that's where I do most of my posting.
Okay.
And I put down an itemized list of everything I need, and people sign up. Of course, monetary donations are always accepted. With that money, I'll do things like I buy tents for people when
Yes.
somebody needs a tent, or we buy sleeping bags, or there was one time where a whole family was displaced, and I went to the store and we got them pots and pans and a stove and so on. So when I get monetary donations, that's where a lot of that goes. So if you wanted to write me a check, I would gladly accept a check.
Yeah.
Or I have Venmo.
Yeah, and this is a very, this is like you on your own with your group of
Right.
people doing this, just out of the good of your heart, wanting
Right.
to help.
It's not a professional business.
No.
It's just
yeah.
working out of my home.
Well, it was
like I
really,
said.
and that's what made you a brick hero. To be honest with you, that's what made you a brick hero, because people recognize that in your community, and we're excited to share that with Brick Township in the community, let people know the good work that you are all doing.
And that's what it is.
Just
The
because.
community is so nice and has been so receiving and ingratiating. Is that the
Yeah.
right word?
Yeah.
So it's really been wonderful.
I'm so happy to hear that. I love hearing good news from our township and good news about our community and good news about things that people are doing. Is there anything you want to share about
Yes,
what you're
there's
doing?
a couple things that, if possible, I would like to start, would get the high schools involved or the grammar schools and start things like a food drive,
Oh, sure. Okay.
you know, and then I could take the food and distribute it.
Okay.
So I think that would help bring awareness.
It's all local, right?
So many
Yeah.
people
Yep.
don't even, like you said, there are people in Bricktown who are homeless.
Yes.
just right behind Target. There's people. So that's something I would like to do. The other thing I'd like to do, which I've seen in other towns, is get the mom and pop diners involved.
Okay.
People can go in and give a donation, $20, and the proprietor would post a receipt on a bulletin board. This is a $20 receipt for a sandwich and a soda, or whatever. So someone who's in need goes in, they pull the receipt off the board.
Yes.
I'd like to have this.
That's a good idea.
So if there was somebody in the area that would like to get involved in that, I'd love to do something like that.
You also have some people, you actually have businesses who donate to you, though, as well.
Yes.
What are those businesses that donate to you?
502 Bakery. I'd like to give a big shout out to them.
Yeah.
Panera Bread. And until recently, I had Atlanta Bread donating to me. One time I did get Jersey Mike's. They're always very generous as well. So anybody like that, I would love to have them help out.
Great. Small businesses or bakeries or other establishments that might want to chip in would be great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And of course, I would love it if I could get some jobs for these people that are in need. So if there's anybody out there that's willing to take on somebody as a day laborer, I could hook you up with some day laborers.
Right. To help out,
but it would require transportation from.
Right. And that's, again, that falls back into this is why they're stuck in this cycle a lot of times, because they don't have a way to get around. So I think it's really great, a lot of the things that you're doing. I love that you have the community support in Lake Riviera and around, and that people care enough and they want to assist you with this endeavor. And just one more thing, I know you mentioned that you had a couple of groups come out and volunteer to serve.
Yes.
So what were those groups that came out?
Brick Surge, the baseball team came. I've had a couple Girl Scout troops that have come out. I have a couple honor students that come with their parents. So anytime a young person wants to get involved, I wholeheartedly would like to involve them, because I think it starts at the young level, make them aware, and then hopefully somebody's going to start a change.
That's great.
But I also have to say that I couldn't do this without all the people that are behind me helping me.
Yeah.
Because I have a group of about 25 people that help me. And if it wasn't for them, it wouldn't be possible.
I could tell the night of the Hero Awards how excited they were for you to be honored, but also to be there with you, and how excited they were about kind of showing off some of the cool things that you guys do. So,
and these are people that I went to high school with that have gotten involved in it. These are people who are not necessarily in the area. Some of them come from Essex County. Some of them are Monmouth County. Some of them are farther south. So without them, I couldn't do this.
Team effort, for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Oh, that's so
And of
good to
course,
hear.
I do the haircuts for homeless.
Oh, that's good
I want
too.
to shout out to them too.
Yeah.
I have a couple women and some gentlemen who come and give haircuts to the men and women. They'll shave them. Everybody has just been wonderful. It's really a great system that's going.
Well, we're going to put some information up here for you to contact and get some more information, and maybe if you'd like to donate, we'd love to have that. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
A lot of great information, and we're so grateful that we have you here in Bricktown.
I'm glad to get the awareness out, and anything that it can do to bring more awareness to it, I'm all for.
Excellent.
So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.